If you can't pull out the phone and call your banker and have a personal conversation, then that bank is using you. You're not using that bank.
Right. That's right.
And from that point on, and even Daryl Freeman, he used to say you need to be dating 3 bankers every quarter.
Yeah.
So I started focusing really on not just having a banker, but like you said, having a relationship with a banker, because again, we could figure out everything else if that banker trusts you, know your business, know your goals. That banker go to war to get you that money.
Yeah, here's a little secret out there.
Yo, what's good, man? Y'all checking in, man. It's your boy, Abram Mitchell. You're now tuned in to the Triple M podcast, where you unlock the secrets of a money-making mindset. Y'all know, bro, we go bring on the best of the best guests here. You might hear from a real estate tycoon, or you might hear from a bank owner. At the end of the day, whenever you come listen to this podcast, make sure you focus, make sure you're taking notes, and I just need you to take one thing. Take one thing away from this show and go apply it. Don't wait next week. Don't wait next year. Go apply it in the next hour, in the next minute, because that's how I got where I'm at. Whenever I see a piece of information that I know I could capitalize off of, that I know I could benefit from, I go apply that. In this day or age, you could get information everywhere you walk around, but at the end of the day, information ain't nothing if you're not capitalizing and applying that information. So, bro, we about to have a good podcast today. How you feeling?
Man, that's good. That's a good word.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is, bro.
Yeah.
It is. So I ain't even introduced you, bro, man.
It's
I got
all good,
my
man.
guests on here.
We got right into it, man. I feel like I'm a regular anyway around you, brother, so it's all good.
That's good. That's what make these conversations better, though.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like, you know, some people do these podcasts and, like, you'll bring a guest on and, like, you don't even, like, know them or have a conversation with them. So now y'all get into the interview and it's like, it ain't a real conversation. You feel me? I like our podcast to be a conversation whenever we recording. So I got a special guest with me. I'm going to still introduce you, though.
That's all good.
My brother, Jeff McGruder. I can let him know?
Let him know, man.
Owner of Citizens Bank, had a great athletic career, also a real estate entrepreneur at a point in time, and still a real estate investor. So we're here to just, you know, get inside Jeff's mind, you know, how you get to owning a bank, and especially being a African-American, a black person owning a bank. I ain't never met that. I never did, you know? So how you feeling again today, brother, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I mean, the bank ownership thing is a community play.
Yeah.
You know, I get the privilege of kind of being the face of several investors and owners and can carry the sword as owner too. But banks don't run by one person. And I think that's the biggest misconception when you think of bank ownerships. The ones that scale are actually the ones that do a community play. And so our team that came in to invest in Citizens Savings and Trust Bank was a group of 33 local people, business-minded people that have a love for the community, first of all, and have a love for entrepreneurship, in which that's what the heart of a bank does. And so, you know, it's a proud moment because of the bank's history, being the oldest black bank in the country, but also it's a proud moment because I'm a Nashvilleian, and I'm a Tennessean, and I think the movement of black people in our state is still kind of under the current. Yeah, but that's why I love to see you moving the way you move and you're moving. I think it's loud because I think the next generation is going to be great for the city because y'all are going to recruit more people to be here. You're going to build out spaces for them to come and kick it and also be able to plug in. And so the bank is a catalyst. And so I'll tell you, like I tell everyone else, man, use us. Yes. I mean, use our bank to help lead the discussions and also get you in the rooms that you normally wouldn't be in. So that's one of the first things. That's what we're here for. Yeah.
It's crazy you say that because that's one of the first things, like whenever I met you out at that property and we had that introduction, shout out to Derek for that. But that was one of the first things you did. You told me, you know, it's like, use us. Yeah. You know, and like coming up, we never knew bankers. Like I never knew a banker in my family. I got into this real estate game and started meeting bankers, and then a black banker was always like, like it's levels to it. Oh, you just work at the counter, like giving, and not to discredit anybody, but again, like, what can you really do? You know what I'm saying? And whenever I met you, you know, like you was like, nah, I'm up in rank in the bank, not like you know trying to like brag, but like, hey, there's people that look like you that you could benefit from,
Absolutely.
you know, inside of these institutions, because again, like getting into this game coming up historically is not our game, you know? And sometimes if you don't know your game, how you know your place?
Absolutely.
And like you said, the bank being a community. So I just want to kind of pull it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you a Nashvilleian. Y'all unicorns right now in the city.
Heck yeah.
I love how y'all accepted me with open arms.
Absolutely.
I'm not from the city, but I feel like I'm one of them now. But how does it feel like being, you know, from the city and being like right there at the forefront of like all this change that's been going on over the last 10 years?
Man, I feel a deep sense of like urgency to tell our story and tell my story because of the lack of other folks like myself that that are not out and about, that are from here. And so I think locals, especially that are in business, they are hard to find. You know, I think the ones that work and teach and kind of go home and go to church is very conservative, man. Tennessee isn't a Bible Belt. Nashville is a heart of several churches and things like that. And I think that's the sentiment where we're not out moving and shaking. And so I think it's important, you know, for Black entrepreneurs to be out and loud and proud. I was talking to a very well-known family yesterday, the Haslam family, the owners of the Cleveland Browns. The daughter is a friend of mine. Okay. And she was just real curious on like the Black experience as it relates to business people in the city. She and I serve on the KIPS board together. Okay. And she was like, well, I want to see more people of color like doing what my family's done. And so I hope your bank, you know, we want to partner with your bank to help y'all get there so we can partner on larger credits and things like that. And so I think those opportunities, I'm one person, you know, Cory's one person, you know, who's my partner at Citizens. We just need more of us bridging the gap. Yeah, in Nashville,
because the gap big.
The gap is big,
just
bro.
in, you know, you say Nashville, but this is a gap that all 50 states need to get put on notice. You know,
everybody, and like we have to be so intentional about if you're from there, you got to let folks know you're from there. So because the authenticity, or what do you call it, the culture or the soup or the gumbo of your city, that's you. Yeah. You know, and you got to figure out a way to get out and make sure
gumbo,
people.
Huh?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I hear you. That was for you right there. Because people can move here and they wonder why Nashville's so special. And it really is that kind of Bible Belt church community, giving, love. Come on in, honey. We'll take care of you and not ask for anything. That is the spirit of the city. And so we just need more of us to continue to pass that on.
And that's crazy too, because like I got here 5 years ago, and like when I first got here, I was just like, ain't no culture out here, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, like it is here. You got to pull these layers back because there is an agenda, you know what I'm saying? Like people have been spread out. You know, certain businesses have been forced to close down, set up shop somewhere else. And as a result, the new people coming in to experience the city, they're getting a completely different experience than the people that came up in the city. Like most people don't even realize we got 3 or 4 HBCUs right here downtown. We got Meharry, TSU, Fisk.
Yes. There's and the fourth is American Baptist College.
All right, then.
Right off Trinity. So that's 4.
And Fisk is like, what, the second oldest HBCU ever?
Yeah.
And Meharry, the only medical HBCU?
Big time historic, man.
So that's a lot of history, right here in
and a Black-owned bank right up under them.
Then
The oldest Black bank is next to all of them.
Citizens Bank.
You know, which is us, which is, I think right now is our time. I think telling our story really loud is going to set a different stage. I think the next 10 years in this city, you'll see $1 billion bank. You'll see TSU, Fisk, Meharry have record numbers of givers, like big time, where you have students like want to be in the city. And I think you'll see a transformation where we won't ever rival Atlanta, but you really will start seeing Black Nashvilleians and graduates from those schools stay. Yeah.
Stay here in the city. Don't just leave to go to Atlanta, because I was one of them that was like, I'm going to go to Atlanta, bro.
Yeah, because everywhere else is getting a little bit too expensive, and also I think it's a different culture. So here I think there's a next generation can really take advantage of what Nashville has to offer. So I think.
So you mentioned that the bank is the catalyst for that. Can you like explain like why you chose a banking career? Because I know, again, I mentioned college athlete, real estate developer at one point, still probably a real estate investor, and now bank owner, you know what I mean? So what is there like a certain point where you made that decision to get into that career? Or it just
man,
happened?
it was right out of college. I kind of looked at the future of college basketball and realized I didn't want to be a coach, and I don't want 18-year-old kids and their handlers making the decision for my career. I didn't, I don't.
Did you focus on going to the NBA? My bad.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I mean, I knew I didn't have. I was a walk-on at UT, so that wasn't for me. But I knew I could coach. I was a great leader. I could, articulate plays and recruit. Great salesperson.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I knew. I know I could bring kids in, but I saw kind of the future of that sport where it is today, which is out of control.
Yeah.
But I also saw I had a finance minor. Okay. And I went and interviewed and realized that, I'm decent at these numbers, and I got a job at a bank, and realized that the relationship piece is how I was bringing in new customers at the bank I worked at first. And so I was like, okay, man, I'm really good at this.
No names. We ain't shout out
I shot them out because they're not around. The AmSouth Bank was based out of Birmingham in Maryville, Tennessee. Union Planters Bank is not around. We merged, and Regions is still around, but those three became one.
Okay.
I stayed there 11 years and moved up and around the whole bank, spent time in Birmingham, trained, and did all the stuff, the big corporate stuff. And then got my MBA, and thought I was too smart to stay, like everybody does when they get their MBA.
I got another piece of paper.
I got a piece of paper, and then we'll get some more money. And so I went to BB&T, which is a great bank out of the Carolinas, which is now Truist. And
Truist just like popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, but they've been around. It's Truist and SunTrust. They combined.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, so they're one bank now. And so that was an awesome experience because I got to see a whole different side of banking, going to Winston-Salem, which is a black town historically, but that's where BB&T was founded. So they had a lot of black folks working for them. So that was really cool. But I realized that in order to really stay in Nashville and thrive, I need to go work for community banking. I needed to feel. This is before Pinnacle was, $40
What
billion.
made you like when you? Okay, so you're in the bank for 11 years. You noticed that you were good at relationship building, and that was one of the top skills to have.
I was a natural at it.
Banking. And then you said, all right, I decided I wanted to get into community banking. That was best for Nashville. So
absolutely.
Was it a moment that made you do that?
It was a moment. And I can, it was cool. I can drop some names on this. And so this is a real moment. So on Jefferson Street.
Okay. Historical street in Nashville.
Where you doing deals, right at the beginning, there's a gentleman we all know and love in the city who really put the start of it, black man, DJ Wootson.
Okay.
Friend of mine, I used to hoot with him at the Y. We go back and forth. He played ball at G State. We would go neck and neck on the court. But when he got into real estate, he reached out to me when I was working for BB&T.
Okay.
And and I'm not gonna put this other person's name, but a local billionaire was a partner with him. On some transactions, and he gave me an awesome opportunity. I was gonna do the first elevators on Jefferson Street.
First building with elevators.
Yes, in like 50 years. It's crazy. So DJ built it. So
that's ridiculous.
And so we drew the credit.
You talk about the
right the one Smo King. Yeah, right there. And that's DJ's one of his first big projects, man. And so I was the banker that really brought that in.
Okay.
And I remember telling DJ, it's like, yo, this credit officer, I had worked it up and approved it internally, and it was an easy slam dunk. You got a billionaire, it's going to be a part of it. Like, it's all good. But it was an out-of-town credit officer. And in big bank world, they really go by the numbers. They ain't really feeling like local anybody. And the numbers were just a little tight, but it was okay. He had some
at that point in time.
It was tight. You had to you had to count on Meharry students to release it, but it was gonna be fine. No worries at all. But she turned it down. I resigned in 2 weeks, man, because I realized that
wait, back it up. All right, so he turned it down and you resigned.
I basically resigned. I told DJ, hey, send this deal. At the time, it was Avenue Bank. It was a buddy of mine named Seth working there. And I said, hey, here, Seth, take this deal, bro. You know who this guy is. DJ's a great young developer. It's a slam dunk. They did it and got it closed like it was nothing. Okay. But it was my deal. But I realized, I still took care of the client. They got their deal. They closed on time. Everything was cool. But I realized that, man, community banking is done locally.
Yeah, the relationship.
The relationship.
It's about who knows you, right?
And I knew every piece of soil in this city. I walked them. I lived them. I lived all over the whole city, so I know what's going to happen to the neighborhood. So I was like, yo, I'm out. told
like,
BB&T
I'm
deuces.
good.
I got a role. I went to work for Pinnacle, which is our local blue blood, local bank that everyone loves. And
that's one of the first banks I got introduced to.
Yeah, man, they off the chain, man. The culture's great. Flat leadership. There's not a lot of stair stepping of everybody. Everybody's over there getting it. Like a bunch of sole proprietors as bankers, and so you basically like a little mini bank. Yourself, and that's what I did. I had a office in Brentwood close to my house. I had like a 3-mile commute for like 7 years. I'm going from church to my kids' school to the country club to the bank. That's what I did, and I would pop into North Nashville doing philanthropy stuff around. My grandmother's center. So I was keeping it all rolling within the city. But man, that's where I learned, okay, this is where I want to be, bro. And so, I was fat and happy, bro. And then probably 5 years ago, I got a phone call from a mentor of mine who had just become the first chairman of the bank, Citizen Savings and Trust Bank.
All right.
And so talking to him and knowing some other people involved, we decided to try to put a group together to raise capital for the bank.
Get some deposits.
No, capital. Yes, to be able to put capital in the bank, to be able to take over the ownership, to lead us into the next
era,
millennium, whatever.
Because Nashville is going crazy.
Nashville's going crazy, and so, but the bank had some issues, and the regulators have stepped in and said, "Hey, we really want y'all to really change this up." And so they shifted the board. The old CEO stepped down. Cory got involved first as a COO. They made Sergio Orr, who was the credit officer, CEO, and Richard Manson became the chairman.
Okay.
And so that was a dope move. I kind of stayed on the side, kept my job at Pinnacle, but I would still kind of talk to Cory and Manson about stuff and stayed very close. And so 2 years into that change, after that 5 years ago, they had brought the bank back to profitability, and it was time to bring me on. And
that's quick.
Oh, man, they got it right. Cory, what did I say earlier, man? Cory Hammond is the man, bro.
We're going to get Cory on there, too.
Oh, yeah, he'll do it. He'll definitely do it, man. He is the man.
You the man too, though, bro. So you the man
it's all
too,
good,
though,
man.
Bro,
I'll get my shine. It's all good. And so they got it to profitability. So now it's time to bring the growth guy on. The marketing guy, the guy that's out in the community.
Visionary.
Yeah, man. The guy that's going to help really put the logo out. And so that's what I've done the last 3 years. And I'm here to tell you, dude, we've almost doubled the size of the bank. Within that time, we came in at just under 90. We're at 175 to 180, fluctuating on deal flow right now. But regulators are giving us a hand clap, and we ain't done the first bit of real marketing yet. We really ain't. We've done friends and family mostly to get to, and our current clients and our current community, which is a lot of Black Nashville, has taken care of that growth. And at one time, people didn't think that was possible because they didn't understand that the bank had always been ready for this, but it just took some leadership to come in and kind of shake things up. To
that groundwork give you that altruistic value, like it's shaking people's hands, building those relationships, and then the community seeing. I know that dude from coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I know his grandma had the family center. I know he played ball here.
It's trust,
he was
man.
at this bank. Exactly.
It's trust, man.
What you said.
Banking is 100% trust. There's a lot of sentiment that was taken from us back in the day when they were closing down our banks because the Freemans, if you heard about the Freeman's Bank, one of the first Black banks that was given to us by the government, it was a Ponzi scheme. So a lot of our grandparents went through that. They took all our money.
Yeah.
So
they were just letting their money sit in the account.
That was a national
and when they
bank.
lost it, they
lost it. Frederick Douglass stepped in and took it over, but it was too late. Some white guys got the money and went off with it, and so they didn't give us anything. And so it's in our DNA to mistrust banks.
Yeah, bro,
it's been passed down.
Bro, like you'll come across some people that's like, bro, shoebox.
Yeah.
Safe or shoebox. I'm not putting my money in the bank.
That's been generationally passed down. And so
like
now,
even my parents, my dad don't like keeping his money in the bank.
Yeah, because that's what he was told, especially from the South, man. Like, dude, our money? Like, come on, man. So
That's sacred.
Sacred.
Don't touch that.
Sacred. So now it's open, bro. Like it's our time. Like we don't need nothing. We don't need anything but each other. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, our bank is gonna do banking with everybody, but from a capital growth standpoint and just volume, it's us. It's our mentality to move as a community, get behind something. And every black bank, there's only 20 left in the country.
Okay.
All right. And they all have movements going on in the same kind of light because they see, now we got billionaire black folks, we got 100 millionaire black folks, we got young professionals coming up in our communities that can fund the bank.
That's what we need. Like, I always feel like, why?
We got it.
P. Diddy, LeBron James,
we got it,
Jay-Z, like, why?
It's trust.
Don't they endorse
trust?
It's trust.
It's still trust. Their people, their handlers, and their people say it's still not safe.
Still not safe.
You got to go to J.P. Morgan. You got to go to Wells Fargo. You got to have your money in Goldman Sachs because they've been around a long time. But guess what those places did? They also bought black banks when we had 60 and 70 of them when things were going tight. You know what the regulators did? Black banks didn't close, brother. They were forced to sell to like the PNCs of the world.
Oh, wow.
So those banks, those assets of black people that were in those banks still exist. They didn't dissolve. Like a Ponzi scheme.
They just moved it somewhere else.
They just moved it under
put
a charter
another name.
and it became like Bank of America.
Man, it's crazy like how much, it's so many different fields. Like I'm in real estate, you in banking, and it's like, it's so much for us to learn in different fields. Like even on this show right now, I'm learning. We done had numerous conversations, and we ain't talked about some of the stuff you talking about. Every time we talk,
deep, man.
It's more deep stuff. I could tell, like, you really, it's deeper than, like you said, than just the money, you know what I'm saying? Because earlier you said, I was fat and happy at Pinnacle. Yeah. And then going over to Citizens, that's a risk.
I took a risk, bro.
You know?
That's for you, because you doing it. Now, you recognize that early, so that's what I'm so proud of you about, bro. You really said, I'm going all in. Like, what you raised as an entrepreneur, you saw your pops do it, and so I love that about you. And I think that is just needs to be more contagious. You know, immigrants move here with the mentality of this is America, home of the great, land of opportunity. What is everybody complaining about? I'm out here hustling. Black Americans, we don't do that. We kind of stuck on the past.
There's no trust though. Yeah. But you said the bank is the catalyst, and I agree with that.
The bank is the catalyst.
So why is the bank the catalyst for people like me that want to develop real estate, want to get access to funding? Why is it so important to have a good?
If you got a board of people that look like you, making decisions in your community that budget 90 cents of every dollar of their money to give to you to grow your business, you're gonna be successful.
Yes.
That's it.
Because you have support.
It's not rocket science. It's just like put your money in with a bank, with a board of trustees that knows you, knows your community, and knows your business, and you will get money. Think about when that's not happened. It's been, what's the board of directors look like? What part of town do they live in?
We don't even know them.
Right.
I remember.
But you expect a $100,000 line of credit when you walk in cold off the street.
They laughing at you
like, huh?
Okay.
So now,
because you think the applications, like,
you
think all of that stuff, and like when people ask me about the banks, they like, I'm like, bro, go to the bank and find out what is it. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't start clicking to me to a banker. You didn't tell me this, but it was the woman that I introduced you to that you told me you go end up giving her a job offer.
Yeah.
So I spoke with her. That was a off-turn relationship because she came to my office. I never had a banker say, let me come into your place of business. Let me see what you got going on because I'm interested in it. I'm not just trying to, investigate you. No, I'm interested. And she sat in my office and I was just letting her know what my goals was, what we was looking to do as a company. And she said, who do you bank with now? And I said, the bank. And she was like, no, who's your banker? And I said, whoever in there right now. She said, that's what's messed up right now. If you can't pull out the phone and call your banker and have a personal conversation, then that bank is using you. You're not using that bank.
Right. That's right.
And from that point on, I started, and even Daryl Freeman, he used to say you need to be dating 3 bankers every quarter. Yeah. So I started focusing really on not just having a banker, but like you said, having a relationship with a banker, because again, we could figure out everything else if that banker trusts you, know your business, know your goals. that banker go to war to get you that money.
Yeah, here's a little secret out there. Bankers date each other.
Yeah.
Like we talk about
other people.
We talk about the bank. We talk about where we're gonna put our money as a bank. We talk the 2 or 3 local banks we do deals with. So our loan size can, like right now we're small. So our maximum loan is exposure is around $3 million. You know, based on our capital. So if we want to go do a $10 million project, we got to stay in front of the banks in the city that we feel good about, and we try to make it all local. So just like you're doing as an entrepreneur, even banks have to go and shop and talk to the banks that are in the market for doing deals locally. And that's always an ongoing thing because everyone's appetites change during the year.
So what advice, like for someone that's just brand new into the world, where should they start? Should they go build a relationship with their community regional bank, or should they try, the JP Morgans, or is it a mix of both?
No, I think you go right to a community bank, especially if you're doing real estate or small business. I mean, you walk in and find out if you can get a meeting with the president or CEO. Even if you only have a couple $1,000s to open, ask for the meeting. If not, they'll give you a personal banker and talk about what you need to get done, because then you can really see. I'll say this. I know everyone's not a nerd like me, but every bank's financials in their books of business is free.
It's public info.
It's public info. It's called a call report.
Okay.
And you can go and look at a bank, see how many deposits they have, how many loans they have, where they're lending money, what they're charging for deposits. You can look at all those things before you walk into a place. And so you can really get a good feeling of, is this a bank for me?
Like studying a business.
You just study a business. You're going to get a balance sheet and income statement, and also you're going to get the risk involved in how did they make money last year? You can see the return on investment and their ROA and their ROE. So you go into a bank that's return on assets and return on equity. And so those are like the 2 big drivers for us. And equity is the biggest one, because when you get investors, you want to be over 10%. Right now we're just doing 5 because we're new. We're kind of newly going.
So what should they go into their okay, you go into this bank and you're requesting a meeting with somebody that's high up.
A banker.
Should you have
a loan officer, a decision maker of a loan?
Okay, loan officer, decision maker.
Yeah.
What should you go in there prepared with? Like a LLC? Should you already be making money?
No, I think you go in and just tell your story and what you want to do first. Let the banker tell you what to bring back. I don't think you go in there with anything besides getting to know them and them getting to know you. So then when you say, okay, I'm thinking about opening up a barbershop, or I'm thinking about, building my first investment property, or whatever the business transaction is, they can then tell you what they require to come back. And so going into it kind of prepared is cool, but I like the banker to help you kind of shape that. So when you come back, you'll know everything you need. I wouldn't assume, or you may just take too much. So, but going in, just being open and being as honest as you can. Don't hide information from us.
Just let them know straight up what's going on.
Because the qualitative piece of it is important. And the quantitative piece is one thing, where it's credit scores and debt service coverage and things like that. But the qualitative is the eye contact, it's the how you dress when you walk in, how you present yourself, and how much vulnerable are you going to be. We don't want to find stuff from the streets about you. And that happens. Some people think kind of moving around with a bunch of banks and not telling the whole story will get you loans, but that's only a short period of time because we talk.
Yeah, people talk.
Yeah.
But I feel like, everybody bro, people talk.
We know.
People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So if you go mess up a relationship, why you think people say don't mess up relationships? Because that person is going to tell other people, hey, keep your eye on him because this is the backstory. This is the situation that happened there. So reputation is everything in the business world. And I agree with you. I tell people myself, go get told no, but pay attention. Is it somebody just saying no, laughing you out the door? Or is it someone saying, look, this is what I need you to go do. Go take care. It might start off with go open up an LLC, come back with a business plan, or maybe come back with some revenue.
Yeah, don't go to an attorney first, because you don't get a bill. I say the banker is your free, hourly consultant.
Free consultant.
Because all they do is we want your loans and deposits. We want to manage your relationship, but we have the connections with the CPA, an attorney, an insurance person, and all these folks we can hook you up with.
And what I think is you just mentioned something else that's big, very big. Y'all need to pay attention to this. Why does the bank need loans and deposits? Why? Because you might look at the relationship like, I need the bank. But this is a symbiotic relationship. We both need each other.
That's right.
So why is it? You know, what benefits does loans, deposit, how does the bank make money?
Yeah, earning assets. I mean, that's basically what loans are. You know, the deposits are the gas, feed the loans. And so we take your deposits and we lend it out at 90 cents on the dollar. And then we charge a rate of a markup rate. And so we give you 1% for a deposit, which rates are higher now, but we charge 5%. I'm just kind of fruition. I'm giving credence to getting those rates back down. So I'm saying 1% deposit rates, 5% loans.
Time is the only thing in between that. Time,
I'm not even gonna say these. How can he speak these high rates right
is
now?
ridiculous
They crazy.
right now,
so
bro.
we're focusing on getting back to that area so we can boom again. But that 4% spread is revenue for us. And so that's what creates my salary, pays for the tellers and pays for maintenance around the building. And so it's really important for us to have a good balance of loans and deposits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's so important, and it's crazy, bro. In my career, I think I started understanding how banks work probably in the last 12 months or so. As I do more business with them. But having that level of understanding also helps you see, okay, this is where we could benefit from a bank. You know what I'm saying? I think that's so important because there's so many people, not even just in our community, honestly. It's a people thing.
It's a people
black,
thing.
white, Asian, whatever you are.
Yeah.
People are just not educated on what the banks are doing.
Yeah.
What is their duty?
People
Why
think there's
an
endless amount of money.
Yeah.
Like in things, banks are, all they do is lend. And the deposits, I can just, sure, I'll open an account with you. I'll put $1,000 in. That's really not accretive to really making us.
You can only loan what? 3,000 on that, or 20,000, which don't do nothing.
You know, we can only loan 90 cents of that, 90% of that back to you technically, if we're trying to like do it the right way. Now, there is some ways to, banks borrow money. We leverage our collateral to go out and make ourselves more liquid to increase our lending ability. But going in cold, just not understanding the value of you having your savings and where you have your savings and getting credit from them, and using that as a leverage in the conversation to negotiate your rate down or your fee down is big. You may can tell, hey man, I got $100,000 with you, man. Why you beating me over my head for this rate? Let me get a little look. And they'll be like,
money
you know
more
what?
expensive right now.
You be like, you know what? You're right, man. Let me give you a little quarter break on that, man. You do have some cash with us, so
having cash with them.
It's so
very important.
Very important, man. I hadn't done any deals this year without a deposit account.
So let me ask you this. I know that because we've done some deals this year.
That's what I told you. It's like, you gotta bring deposits.
Put some deposits in there. I'm like, all right, cool. We can handle that, Jeff. So in the current climate right now, what trends or changes are you seeing in lending practices for real estate development projects? And how can developers adapt?
Well, we know it's
changes?
definitely grounded to a halt from the sales side of real estate. And so what we've seen, all banks have they've basically shut down like development loans right now because of the market, right? You don't want to start putting out money until the inventory starts to move. And so, that's been just on the builder side, on the developer side, we've seen builders really, they're starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
They're starting to get
properties sitting on the market a little longer.
Yeah, we're starting to see their cash balances go down because they're paying out double the amount in interest-only payments. And that's been it's always a bummer to see that happen, but it's a market correction.
You got to be able to withstand it.
You got to be able to withstand it. And so,
Bert Matthews told me that.
Yeah, and look, I'm just telling you, like we've talked about it, and I've talked to other builders, like, look, man, when it's riding high, bro, you got to make sure you're throwing something to the side for that rainy day because it's coming. It's coming. And so what I'm saying is my saying for everybody is I'm watching the Fed every month kind of tour around with rates, survive the 25.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one.
What you mean by that? Survive to 25.
Survive to 2025.
Okay.
Okay, we got to get through this last quarter of the year of 23. Hey, hatchet yourself down. Next year, really be in front of clients. It's like, we spoke about this at the house. I was like, look, man, next year when people are really feeling the pinch and they own a business, they own some real estate, or they want to move, or they're feeling like this is the year to really be active in front of people, showing love, checking on people. How are you doing? Can I help you with something? Just just overly serve next year. Because people are going to remember that, because everybody's going to be going through a little something next year financially, maybe big or small, but next year's the year. And so hopefully when
they look to leaders. In any type of hardship, you look to the leaders.
They want to know what's going on. Keep them informed. Because at the end of next year, I feel like probably fourth quarter and then the election, whatever happens with that. Dude, you really got to go back and look at economic cycles, trends around elections times too. That's a good way to place some bets around where things are going to be. And the way you think about this, it's kind of leading up to a big turnaround. So whoever wins going to get the credit for getting everything back, which it makes no damn sense. All the work is done 4 or 5 years before, but the person that's winning,
is the one.
It happens every time.
But also it could work the other way too.
Yeah.
Because whoever wins, they try to do that with Obama, a little bit. And
exactly. So it just
Biden
makes
right
the
now,
economic cycle. So I'm saying the economic cycle for the next president will allow, I think they'll have a run up because we're in a recession right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you said we in a recession.
Yes, for
and
sure.
I'm happy you just said that because like earlier you said when that rainy day come.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're in
it's
the recession.
It's already raining, I think.
Yeah. The recession is here. We are in the recession. Like all the numbers show that we are in a recession. Besides like consumer trends, people are still spending and traveling and stuff, but all the like the main indicators, like the housing market, like those are rates. Come on. I mean,
that's recession.
Student loan debt.
Like, this is how I feel about this stuff. I was talking with somebody this the other day. And again, I'm young. I wasn't here for 08. I wasn't here for none of the other stuff. But I felt like I was getting to a moment, because you hear all the chatter, you hear people that went through it. I was getting to a moment where they was go come on TV and say, we're in a recession. It's the great the depression, all this stuff.
Yeah.
That'll never happen. What's going to happen is, and there's 3 people that's in this environment right now. You got your people that's in La La Land. That might be somebody that they don't care what's going on. They might be the people that say the recession don't affect me, and it might not affect you negatively. You might not be paying attention. Cool, stay in La La Land. Then you got the people that are getting affected in a negative way, getting laid off. You know what I'm saying? Funds are low. Like they feeling every bit of the recession.
Yeah.
Then you got the group of people that spotted the opportunity during the recession.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, is it already raining? Most people don't even realize that it's raining right now.
Yeah.
And you need to decide, are you in La La Land? Okay, it don't affect you until it maybe affect you. Are you feeling doomsday? You feeling the world come down? You getting laid off? You getting foreclosed on? Or are you on the side like, there's a lot of opportunity right now.
It's about to be a lot.
It's a lot of problems that could get solved right now. And in every recession, depression,
that's when
it's a yin and yang to everything.
More millionaires are made during the recessions because you're able to get things at a lower price, you know, and come back and bring it back to market. And so next year, like I'm calling you call banks and see how they're doing, see how their special assets are doing, how they're
you can feel it.
They can
see where you can help.
You know, they have clients that are sitting on deals that they haven't finished or they're not selling, and you know, and the client said they walked away, may have given them the key. The banks manage. I mean, we may have 1 or 2 like that on our books, and so, but we ain't gonna, you know, we'll be able to finish it ourselves because we're small. But a larger bank doesn't have a department that they don't want. They're not in that business. They're just gonna send it into the special assets department, and it'll be held for sale, and you can go on their line and probably buy it. So some of that will start coming around next year too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you say to the people? Because we about to wrap up a little bit. We're going to have to get on another one, bro. We ain't got no time for this, but because I'm learning right now. Like,
man.
These questions I'm asking you is for me to learn too.
Yeah.
And y'all gonna learn from this also. But like, I'm curious about this. You hear a lot about the regional banks is getting squeezed out to where we won't have regional and community banks. What you got to say to those rumors that's going out? Is it true, or is it depending on what regional bank you working with, community bank, local bank? What do you feel about that? Have you heard that stuff?
I'll just say, man, look, our government can be a gang sometimes, bro.
Okay.
And so when it comes to regulation in this industry, we're the most regulated.
Okay.
And so our regulations from big banks to small almost doesn't differentiate, you know, and they treat us the same. You know, we're lucky to be under $1 billion, and so we can get a little less of a hit. but it's still tough, and we're black though too. So that we feel like there's some extra to that. But you also have big wigs like Jamie Dimon, who are also the king of the world. Basically, if you've ever followed him or read any of his stuff, he's the
Jamie
CEO,
Dimon.
Jamie Dimon, the CEO and president of J.P. Morgan. If you don't know who that is, you need to look him up. Go to J.P. Morgan's website and read his last 3 years worth of journals. He does like an end of year. Read that. He is brilliant, but he also is a market leader. When he speaks out, things happen.
He's an influencer.
He's an influencer in the banking industry. And so when all this SVB stuff was happening, he was one of the loudest voices around regional banks struggling and the reason why big banks are needed. So it's always what happened shortly after that. SVB failed. The other two banks failed too. And guess who got one of them? J.P. Morgan was able to get one of them first. Citizens out of
so they wanted to happen so they could do what you just said
and
earlier.
So the government doesn't want to have to hire all these people to go and deal with all these little banks. These regional banks. They want to just either deal with the 4 or 5 big ones and get rid of the small ones. And so we feel that.
Buy them up.
And so
force your hand, basically.
And so what you've seen over time, there's a law passed that allowed for banks to merge, but regulation also pushed it. And so where we're running as a bank is our goal is to get to $1 billion within the next 5 to 6 years. And that's going to be done a bunch of different ways. Once we get to that billion, because we want to maintain our ethnicity and our kind of movement and our mission, like we may just stay there and just work on fees and just do consulting and just allow that leverage. Because I think any bigger than that, you're not having fun anymore as a bank.
It's just a lot of rules.
Man. The paperwork. I mean, it's just the reporting. You have to send stuff. And so all the stuff you have to, that is a cost. That is an FTE you have to pay for, which hurts your profitability. And so that's really what the complaint is that you're putting so much regulatory stuff and just pushing the buttons all the time that I have to hire a whole staff for it. That could be increasing my stock value. But if not, I can't because I got to make sure I send these reports in on time or you're going to find me.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot for sure, man.
It's a lot, bro.
Bro, we about to wrap this up, man. Before I wrap it up, I just want where is all the locations that Citizens Bank? First, oldest black-owned bank in America. Where are we located? Of course, founded in Nashville, headquarters in Nashville. But is there any other markets?
Yeah, so we're in Memphis. So we have an office in Winchester. In Memphis, close to Germantown, which is our next phase. We want to get Nashville established, Middle Tennessee established, get to around 250 to 300 million in assets here, which we're like 100 million away from that, so we're close. And then focus on Memphis. And then the whole point of our experience is to have one site and be very digital. So we can hire relationship managers to be in the community, to have maybe a small office, but have one big headquarters. So we can do small business, have a podcast, do some history, have some events, and just have a space for entrepreneurship. But it's a bank where you can actually make deposits and loans too. And so we want to go to the markets within the Southeast that are drivable from here.
Okay, so that kind of answered my next question. Like if somebody watching this is like, I'm in Atlanta, I'm in Louisiana. Like, how can I bank with Citizens Bank?
Absolutely, man. You can start an account all day at bankcbn.com. We have an online platform that allows you to open an account anywhere in the country with us. And so, and it's 100% digital.
And they can set up virtual meetings.
Virtual, you can make a deposit, wire transfer, all online, and never have to come to Nashville. And you can have your money with us, and 90 cents of your dollar will go to your community. And let's keep it rolling.
Dope. Yeah. So, look, you heard that, man. Look, it don't matter where you at. Go ahead and go to bankcbn.com. You can open up an account with Citizens Bank. You could, set up a meeting, get some consulting. If you're interested in getting into, real estate, it might not be the best time for you to get a development loan right now, because I think you said unless you, are very experienced, unless you know somebody or have a great relationship, you probably gonna get turned around right now, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So that's what make it that much more important to go build relationships with the people that are making these decisions. That's what I started to realize in my career, because I went into the big banks and got turned around. Like, they were just like, hey, this what it is. And I'm like, well, what about, this what it is. You know what I'm saying? This what it is. So I'm like, okay, cool. I need to have somebody that I can have a personal relationship with, that I can have a conversation with. I mean, I done met your wife, I done met your kids, you done did business with me.
That's right.
Got the Sprinter van, you know what I'm saying? So now we on a level where we know, like, and we trust each other, and that's how business get done.
That's right.
Bro, we talked about a lot today.
We did, man. I got to come back, man. There's a lot more to talk about,
Yeah,
man.
we definitely might need to get you and Cory.
We're on our way together, though.
We might have to get you and Cory on here at the same time, bro.
Oh, yeah, you got to hear his story. It's
definitely.
Yeah.
So, what can people, the last thing before I let you out here, what can people find you at?
Instagram, Jeff McGruder.
Okay.
Is my handle. LinkedIn is Jeffrey W. McGruder II. Those are my two platforms. I do all my posting and kind of connect with people. Let's chat. You know, you want a one-on-one time with me, we can do a Zoom if you're out of town. I'm, you know, especially if people look like me, man, I'm gonna tell you, please reach out because I want to help. And I'm not too busy. I always tell people that and they don't take me up on it though. I'm gonna try again. I'm not too busy.
Y'all take this man up. So look, appreciate everybody tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, share with a friend, tell that friend to share with 2 friends, then tell that friend to share with everybody. Because at the end of the day, like, y'all got to get this information, and you got to get it from the people that look like you, the people that you trust. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, please apply it. Don't wait till your New Year's resolution. Like, nah, do it tomorrow. Do it today. Go ahead and be that change. You might be that one that could change your whole family and generation forever. So appreciate everybody tuning in. We going to be back at it again next week with another great episode for y'all. And bro, I appreciate you again, bro. It's a dope episode.
Appreciate you having me, bro. It's a good time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Checking out.